shocking case out of Richmond. A man was declared brain dead and was prepared to donate his organs, though hard to believe he was in fact alive.
We had his honor walk, but almost as soon as his honor walk started, his eyes started opening, and not just opening, he was tracking around looking to see, what was going on. And we were told that was just reflexes, just a normal instinct. He's not there.
An alarming story, to put it mildly. HHS Secretary RFK Jr. is calling for reforms to the U.S. organ donation system. This comes after an investigation unearthed a whole lot of reports of doctors, American doctors, trying to remove organs from patients who still showed signs of life, brain activity. Secretary Kennedy says, quote, "Our findings showed that hospitals allowed the organ procurement process to begin when patients showed signs of life, and this is horrifying. The entire system must be fixed to ensure every potential donor's life is treated with the sanctity it deserves."
Organs harvested from patients that are still moving. I heard that from a congressional hearing last week. What can you tell us?
Yeah, it's a horror story, and part of it is because of the capture of the agency that was regulating ORR. The board that was actually regulating organ harvesting was overlapping with the contractor that was actually harvesting the organs. And it was done state by state. Some of the states were just truly, it was a nightmare. And it was sickening to read these stories. At one instance where a family was waiting at the hospital for the body of their deceased relative. The relative was brought to one of these private organ harvesting centers, awoke while they were harvesting her, and then was brought back to the hospital where she died eventually. But the family, brought litigation, and that's the only reason that we learned of this story. We've done a complete investigation of that company. We've taken the contract away from that company, and we're reorganizing it so that we will be regulating it and running it directly at HHS, and this will never happen again.
Martin, a surgical preservation coordinator, contacted her. She was on first call for Kentucky Organ Donor Affiliates, or CODA, and was on her way to the OR to take over care. That's when she received a horrifying phone call.
He was then thrashing around, crying, trying to pull his tube out. He was pushing everybody's hands away that were trying to prep and drape him for surgery. And it's kind of crazy, but the doctors decided we're absolutely not going to do this case. The CODA coordinator that was on site that day actually called CODA's admin for some guidance and was told, you will find another surgeon or you'll lose your job because we're going to complete this case.
It's not infrequent that something comes up around the donor and whether or not the donor is dead. And the problem is that we've got 40 years where there has been no oversight at all of the OPOs.
The Kentucky Attorney General's office says they are now looking into this.
Network for Hope did release a statement to us regarding this case. They said, quote, "While we cannot discuss specific case details, we are concerned by the way this case has been misrepresented."
Brain death is a lie. The way it occurred was that Christian Bernard did the first heart transplant in South Africa in 1967. 3 days later, they did the second heart transplant, and you don't know where that is, but I'll tell you, it was done in Brooklyn, New York. And what they did is they cut the beating heart out of a 3-day-old baby and transplanted it into an 18-day-old baby. And at the end of their surgeries, a short time after the end of their surgeries, both of those babies were dead. It was illegal, it was immoral. And so they had to do something to make it legal. And so what they did is they set up a committee at Harvard, and the committee invented brain death. The committee did not do studies on dogs or cats or rats. In the state of Ohio, every representative and every senator voted for the bill to make it so that everyone is an organ donor. The law, it's called the Uniform Anatomical Gift Act. It's already been passed in 47 states, including Ohio, and every representative in Ohio voted for it. Only one senator voted against it.